Hello everyone, welcome to the show The Focus Line. Today we are going to discuss many important articles that came in yesterday's newspaper as well as in today's newspaper. Also, many of them are very important from the men's perspective, so we are going to discuss them mostly primarily from the men's perspective. So we'll start our discussion. So in first, these are the articles that we are going to discuss now today. So first article is about the population dynamics. That is, it is changing the myth that our population is like we have the huge demographic dividend. Second is about the infrastructure, the mostly urbanization and the climate change related issues. Third is about India and China. It has given the some brief overview of the what is the background development or the historical development between the India and China border issue. Another article is about the theater command. The army chief said that it is inevitable. Okay, so we are going to discuss this also. And then one more article is about the ecological disaster in Nicobar. So just because of the Great Nicobar project. So we are going to discuss all this article. We'll start with this first one, that is the population dynamic. So this article particularly discussing that India's demographic transition from the predominantly young population to aging one. So there is certain data which is claiming that how India's population is going towards the aging. So if you see the crude birth rate, okay, what is the crude birth rate? The live birth in 1,000 people as per 1,000 people, that is the crude birth rate. So it is fell to 18.4 in 2023 from the 19 in 2022. So this is the one indication that our population is aging, that is our birth rate is decreasing. Second is total fertility rate. So that total fertility rate in the sense how much one woman can bear the child in her productive age, that is 15 years to 45 years. Okay, so it is also fell to 1.9 in 2023. Okay, and it is below the replacement level. What is the replacement level? So if there are parents, that is one male and the one female is there, so when they will leave when they will get aged or when they will leave the world, that time they should leave the two people, like either male or female. Okay, so two people behind them, then it is the replacement level. Okay, so if in their productive age, if the one parent or the one couple, they have produced only one child, okay, it might either male or female. Okay, so what will happen? It is below the replacement level. That means two people are going to die, and to replace them there is only one person, so it is below the replacement level. That is the basic understanding of the replacement level. Okay, so next is there is also regional disparity between the crude birth rate and the total fertility rate. If you see in Bihar, the crude birth rate, that is still very high, that is 25.8, and the total fertility rate is also above the replacement level. In Tamil Nadu, if you see, the crude birth rate is the lowest one, that is 12, below the national average, and Delhi, the total fertility rate is 1.2. Okay, just to have discussed, the couples they are moving towards producing only one child. So this is the regional disparity. Also, what is this regional disparity is impacting? That what we say, we have the huge demographic dividend. All the demographic dividend is concentrated in the North India because of they have this high crude birth rate as well as the high total fertility rate. That's why the demographic dividend is concentrated in the North India. So also if you see the several states, okay, the total fertility rate is below replacement level. So we have seen Delhi is there, again along with Delhi, West Bengal is there, Tamil Nadu is there, Maharashtra is there. So if you see mostly the South Indian states, they have the low total fertility rate. So demographic dividend, again we can say it is concentrated in the North India. So also if you see, the proportion of people above 16 years rose to 9.7% of the population. Okay, so with the Kerala, if you see only in Kerala, it is the 15% of the population. So this is also one indication that we are moving from the demographic dividend towards the aging population though. So this is one more indication. Next, if you see what would be the implication on this implication of this aging population. So first would be, we need to the population structure, the dynamics is shifting from the youth bulge toward the aging society. Okay, so there is the shrinking demographic dividend. If the shrinking demographic dividend is there, then obviously what will lead? It will lead to this policy blind spot. Why? How policy blind spot? Because of the what if you see our current policy, it focuses on the employment, skill development, okay, then again healthcare, education. So these all things are meant to increase the productivity of working population. So what is it is leading again? So it is focusing on the working population, but if we see the data, we need to focus on the where the aging population, because we have the nearly 9% share in the aging population, that above the 16 year, they are the 9% of the total population. So we need to focus more on, but what is happening? There is policy blind spot because of the we are still focusing on the young population. Also, there is need of policy reorientation. Okay, so we need to reorient policy toward the infrastructure. In infrastructure, we need to invest in healthcare, particularly elderly health care, also their social security service, social security. Okay, we need to develop the other soft infrastructure kind of the like insurance. Okay, their stable income. So this kind of infrastructure we need to develop. Also, if you see the policy focus, the policy focus now currently it is morely for the age, mainly for towards the age younger population, that need to shift towards the this policy focus also need to shift towards the this aged population. So also, if we see these are the implication, that is the one conclusion we can bring after seeing the data. Also, if we see the economic and opportunity that lies in this particularly, what is happening, that we are moving towards the where or we are having the large scale aged population. So what is economical opportunity? Because if we see, we are developing the silver economy. It is also called as air economy, also the orange economy. So here what is happening, this development will mostly focus on the development equipments, okay, which are useful for the this elderly population. Also there is it will boost the care economy. So there is a high chance of getting job for the unskilled people. So what will happen, it ultimately will lead to the production, increase in production, as directly linked to the increase in employment level. So employment again, it is depending on, it leads to economical growth. So there are several economical opportunities when it comes to this particular change. Also, if you see the what are the long-term challenges that we will facing now, ultimately it will increase the dependency ratio. So now if you see, it is the 9% of population. So in future it might increase. So dependency ratio will increase. Also there is need of it will increase the public-private expenditure. Okay, where this public-private expenditure will increase? It will increase in the healthcare service. Okay, again other the care. So here this public-private expenditure will increase. So major chunk of the government budget, it will be oriented towards this healthcare issue. So there also there will be less productive investment will happen. Also, if you see that there is need for the urban and rural redesign. Why urban and rural redesign? If you see the where the population, this age elderly population concentrated, it is in the urban economy. And rural, what is happening? It is still there. Even the elderly people are there, still they are in working stage. So if you see the rural and urban, there is the mismatch. Okay, when it comes to the working or the productive capacity of the elderly population. So there also we need to focus. Also there would be the issue of mental health because and social inclusion, because of the person who the elderly people who will be facing this issue, health issue, mental health issue, because of the isolation, okay, and the feeling of powerlessness. Ultimately also because of their various diseases or various the healthcare health related issues associated with them. So there will be excluded from society. They will be kept in the age old houses. So there also there is problem would be problem of the social exclusion. So these are the mental health related challenges will occur. So this is the all about this particular article. There we are seeing the data which says that we are moving from the demographic dividends towards the aged elderly population. So we'll have the major chunk, and that time we need to focus on these aspects. So this is the article came in the Hindu, the editorial. Next is it came in the Indian Express, where it talks about the urbanization and what are the climate change related issues are there. So this article particularly says about India's rapidly growing urban population is highly vulnerable due to climate induced risk, extreme heat or flooding. Okay, so it is basically discussing how the current infrastructure, current urban related urban development is there. It is directly going to impact or the condition will worsen because of the this climate change. So if we will see from the data and facts, so we have seen the by 2025 the city is expected to generate over the 70% of the new job. So if they are generating a new job, then what will happen? It will increase the migration towards the city. So there would be urban to rural migration. Rural to urban migration. So this will be increased. So even the market migration is increasing. Ultimately, what will lead? It will lead to increasing concentration of population in urban region. So this is the one issue, the fact related to it. Also, if you see the urban population that forecasted to reach almost 1 billion by next 25 years. So there is also significant that 100 crores, nearly 100 crore population will live in the urban cities. Also, what if you see the current challenges, two-third of the urban dwellers will face the risk of this pluvial. Pluvial means surface runoff, and the pluvial, that is river related flooding. Okay, so these are the two issues. This is the one new word you can remember for the surface runoff. Okay, it is related to water stress issue. Also, if you see the projected losses, okay, from economical perspective or financial perspective, it would be near around the $5 billion by 2030, and it will increase to $30 billion by 2017. So this is the financial related major issue. Also this flooding risk. Okay, so why this flooding risk is there? Because of the heavy rainfall, okay, and inadequate infrastructure. So because of the heavy rainfall, there is the high chances of the flooding. Okay, and also what is this high chances will due to inadequate infrastructure. This intensity or the capacity of infrastructure to tackle this high rainfall, that is the negligible or that is inadequate. So ultimately it will worsen the condition. So these are the issues, key challenges related to it. So now what this particularly article highlights. Okay, so it talks about the existing inadequate urban infrastructure. So particularly urban infrastructure, if you see the drainage system, okay, so other related, the encroachment into water bodies. So due to this, what is happening? There is inadequate urban infrastructure which can sustain during the higher rainfall or the cloud-based kind of condition. Okay, so also the large portion of housing stock is built before 1917. Okay, so what is happening? Because of that time the climate change issue was not very prominent. So what are the housing that time built? So they are not in the situation to face the current climate change related challenges. So this is the one more challenge related to here. And current housing system is mostly focusing on the quantity over the quality. So if you see the mass housing system, okay, the mass construction, if you see the vertical construction, it is increasing use of the concrete. What is happening? It is again creating the urban heat island impact. So ultimately what will lead? It will intensify the climate change. So there is less focus on the quality. That is the sustainable infrastructure development. There is investment in the developing green infrastructure or the infrastructure which can use the environment or the ecology in beneficial way. So there is a more focus on the quantity, and how these particular issues directly it is linked to particularly this inadequate infrastructure issues related to economical losses. Okay, due to inadequate infrastructure, there is repeated flooding. Then obviously there will be breakdown, or there would be this particularly financial losses because of disruption into economical activity. Also it will lead to social inequality. How it will lead to social inequality? If you see the flooding, the most of the flooding, this happens, or it impacts the slums or the encroachment. Okay, and due to social inequality, that uh, people from the lower strata, that is the poor or the lower caste, they preferably lives in the slum. Okay, due to their incapacity to buy the houses in the other the safest area. So again, this flooding will morely impact these people negatively. So there again, it will increase the social inequality. Also, it is increase the vulnerability of citizen. It will increase the vulnerable citizen economical as well as the health related, because of the growing the health related issues. So these are the implication. Also, it will impact the economical productivity because of the disruption again of economical activity, and there is the social inequality. So again, people will not be able to invest into quality healthcare, skill development program. So their own productivity will be decreasing. So ultimately, it will reduce the productivity of the industries. Okay. Also, the vulnerability of citizen because of the prevalence of diseases. So due to loss of the productive hours, this ultimately again it will reduce the economical productivity. So these are the implications which are the directly related to these particular challenges. Also, there are some solution proposed in this article. You can directly use it when you will be writing answer for the flooding. So first, they says that need of integrated approach. So in article, the author argues for the integrated approach for the urban planning. So this says about the no building zones, okay, in flood prone area. So how the no development zone is there in the coastal region. Same time, there need to be no building zones in flood prone area. So also there is need of citywide nature based drainage solution. Okay, so drainage system which can naturally adapt the or naturally absorb the excessive rainfall. So there is need of the nature based drainage system. Also there is need of smart sensor. So real time flood warning can be given. This particularly deployed in the Mumbai last year. So the one example you can use it here. Also there is need of climate change, climate resilience infrastructure. Okay, so they argues for the compact city planning. They are asked to integrate affordable housing with the accessible public transport and the green spaces. Okay, so the impact of the climate change can be reduced. So because of the public transport, if we see the more and more people are using the public transport, the obviously there is emission of the carbon or also other greenhouse gases due to vehicular pollution that will reduce. Also the people have the access to green spaces. So the again their capacity to bear these climate change related issues, particularly health related issues, that will be increased. So this is the directly related to economical and health related issues. Next is about the government innovations. Okay, it talks about the government innovations, where it says the we need investment in modern infrastructure. So what kind of modern infrastructure? That waste to energy, smart grid, urban agriculture. So here also we need to promote the more investments. Also we need to have the public private partnerships for sustainable urban development. So particularly public private partnership we need in this one, this modern infrastructure, as well as making the focusing on the quality of construction, not the quantity. So here we need this public private partnerships in these two aspects. Also if you see, we also need to focus on the equity and inclusiveness. So just we have seen how this urban flooding will and climate change directly impact, it will intensify social inequality, as well as the people who are on the border. Okay, they can be pulled back because of their vulnerability to these issues. So for that we need inclusivity, need to include focus on the equity and inclusivity. So this will be done through the cater all demographics. Okay, so the inclusion of all demographics, be it the poor, lower caste, women, children's, these all demographics need to be considered while the planning. So there would be equity and inclusiveness. Also we have the opportunity. What opportunity we have? The first is the investment in infrastructure. So what will lead? It will lead to new jobs and the businesses. So ultimately, whatever the challenges we are going to face, okay, and whatever solution we are going to bring to reduce or overcome these challenges, ultimately it has the economical advantage. So because it will create the new job and it will expand the businesses. So this is the one opportunity we have. Also we have the growing urban population. Okay, so this growing urban population will be the pioneer for the sustainable city models. So our aspiration to become Vishwaguru. So this is again directly linked to this aspect. So we have the larger chunk of population which lives in urban area. So we are able to implement this urban sustainable city models, then we lead this urban planning, okay, where we are lacking currently. Also, this better planning, it again are linked to the quality of life, the urban mobility, okay, and inclusive growth. So how the inclusive growth? Because of the, if you are focusing on the all demographics and all kind of issues, okay, so ultimately it will increase the inclusiveness, okay, and it will resolve the all kind of issue. So the inclusive growth is there. Urban mobility, we are mostly we are investing in the public transport, public infrastructure. Here also it will increase the urban mobility, that to green urban mobility. Also it will increase the quality of life, because we are taking the enough steps toward the, we are going to take enough steps for the equitable and the inclusive growth. So we are considering the health, skill, okay, other the modern needs are there, okay, the access to right quality environment, these all issues can be taken care. So through that way the quality of life will be increased. So this is all about this article. This, it has given quite nice suggestion that we can directly use in the mains answer. So kindly note down it, so you can use in mains answers, okay. So next article is about the India and China. So their inability to define the border. So the context, this article discusses long-standing issues of undefined and contested border tension between India and China. So before going to actual discussion, we'll briefly see what is the why the border issue arise. Already I have discussed in one of the focus line where I have explained the historical the relations between India and China from the independence till now, and what are the factors that leading to growing this mistrust or this intensifying the relations, the problems between India and China. So briefly I will explain here. So why this issue occurred? First, because of the different claims on the border, okay. So if from Indians perspective, what we project our border, that currently what we consider international border, okay. So this is called as Johnson line, and this Johnson line is the border between India and China, that according to our claim. But when it comes to the China claims this LAC, okay, line of actual control, is the border line. So this is the Chinese claim. And also before this one, there was one more border, that is McCartney-MacDonald, that is this border particularly drawn in 1899. So till 1960, okay, till 1960, China accepted this as a border between India and China, but they, after that they changed their stand and they started claiming that this makes the boundary between India and China. And for as per our claim, this Johnson line, what we consider the international border between India and China, this particular border drawn in 1865. So this is the international border, and due to these different claims on the border, this border issues remain evergreen, okay. So before just going after independence, when the Communist Party came into power in China, they rejected all the agreement that signed by the previous nationalist government into China. So it included the Shimla Convention, also this particularly Johnson line or the McCartney-MacDonald line that are accepted by the previous Chinese regime, that is nationalist government in China, okay, that also rejected by this communist government, okay. So they claim that all the Tibet, including Arunachal Pradesh and the Aksai Chin, that makes the part of the China, and through this claim is intensified. So it ultimately led to 1962 Indo-China war, okay. So after that the strained relations were there, and the reorientation or the relation started normalizing in the 1980s, okay. So this is the phase where again the relation between India and China started normalizing. So it started with the then Prime Minister Rajiv Gandhi. He visited China in 1988, okay. So that time they established one joint working group. This particular joint working group, it is established to for the multiple talks, it held the multiple talks on the border issue, okay. So the major breakthrough came in 1993 when the PV Narasimha Rao became the prime minister. That time the major agreement that signed, that agreement was the border peace and the tranquility agreement. Okay, this particular agreement, it was the first document, okay, first ever document that's addressed the Indo-Indian border. And through this agreement, if you see what are the major this aspect of this agreement, the first formal document that acknowledged the LAC, that is line of actual control, okay, and it decided the all the border issues that will be resolved through the peaceful way, okay, without using of any violence. So this was the very crucial agreement when it comes to the Indian-China border issue. Okay, before that also, if you see why the core problems are there. Okay, so because of this ambiguous definition, just we have discussed, there is a different claims from the both the side. Also there is lack of permanent mechanism which can resolve the issues. Okay, also the most of the military conundrum. Okay, mostly the military collides, the military is used to solve this border issue. The Doklam issue is there, Galwan Valley clashes, so all this is because of the military conflict. Okay, so these are the core problems that lies when it comes to the Indian-China border issues. So we'll discuss this now when in 1993 agreement, which brought the major breakthrough. Also in 1996 there was one more agreement. It added the competence building measure. Okay, so through this competence building measure, there was the productive steps taken to resolve the border issue. So there were many there at that time, many talks been held. Okay, even after with this agreement, China's entry into World Trade Organization was the stimulated by the India because of this agreement. Also in Ladakh, in Kargil war, China remained neutral, okay, despite having the alliance with Pakistan. So these are all the outcomes came because of this agreement. Okay, that's why these agreements becomes very crucial. Also, this agreement, this 1996 agreement, encouraged periodic border personal meeting. Okay, so there was the periodic meeting. That's why the border issue remained stable for a long time. Also, it reaffirmed commitment to not to use force, okay, against each other. So whatever the border issues are there, that will be resolved through the peaceful purpose, peaceful way. So these are the two major agreement when it comes to the Indian-China. So these are the came into article why this it is talking about the two agreement. Okay, so in this you can go and watch the focus line where I have discussed the Indian-China issue, the honeymoon phase, okay, then divorce phase, and also realignment phase. Okay, in last 20 years. So I have discussed the many factors that impacting India-China relations. Okay, what are the historical development, all these things in detail I have discussed. We can watch this with that video to understand it in better way. So if you see the next article, it is about the theater command. Okay, so army chief said that tri-service integration is inevitable and have to see how long it will take. Okay, so forgot this to second one. We'll focus on tri-service, or the why the theater command is inevitable. Okay, so if you want to see the what is the current arrangement, so if you see the how the commands are proliferated, so there are the in Northern Command, it is lies in the Udhampur. Okay, Army Training Command is there, Western Command is there separately, Central Command. Okay, so these are the different commands for the all the Air Force and the Army and the Navy. So when it comes to Northern Command, Army's Northern Command lies in Udhampur. So whereas the Air Force Central Command is in Allahabad. Okay, again the Air Force Central Command is Delhi. So these are the and Army Central Western Command is in here only. So these are the different commands they presently like. And what is exactly theater command? So theater commands, what this theater command refers to? This theater command refers to integration of the military capabilities of the Army, Navy, Air Force under a unified command structure. And this unified command structure will be responsible for the specific geographical area. So this is the important word, that is integration. It will integrate all the commands, okay, capabilities of the Army, Navy and the Air Force under the one unified command, and this command will be responsible for the managing all the security related issues for the particular geographical area. And through this there are the proposed certain commands are there. So there would be Western Theater Command. Okay, so it will be kept under the army. So it will be more majorly responsible for the Indo-Pakistan border. So there will be again one the Eastern Command. Okay, so it will be also kept under army, where it will be responsible for the mostly the Chinese related Chinese and the Bangladesh. Also there would be one Southern Command. So three major commands would be there. There will be additional commands which will integrate the defense command with the air defense asset. Okay, again there will be strategy command for the nuclear delivery system. There will be integrated logistic command, cyber command, special force command, again the space command. So these are the different theater command that is proposed now, but major command would be this Western, Eastern and Southern command. Okay, where the army, navy and ship will be you work in an integrated manner. So now the question is the why we need the theater command. Okay, so if you see though, there are certain reasons we'll see from the well structured way. So first of all, what are the strategical factors that making us to establish this theater command? First is the changing character of the warfare. Okay, so now war is the to changing this, concerning changing character of the warfare, where the wars not happens in on the border, it happens in all the fronts. Okay, cyber security, space war is there, so everywhere in maritime domains. So that time we need joint, multimodal and the network centric command, so it can answer in unified way. So this is the one strategic reason. Also there is cognitive and information welfare warfare. So for this, to tackle this kind of warfare, we need intelligence gathering, structured intelligence gathering and use of this intelligence in better way. So that time we need unified command, so the information gathered from the all the navy, army chief, navy, army and air force can be used in effective way. Also there are the border threats, internal security challenges. So border threats, we have the border disputes with nearly all the our neighbors, so that is the one major reason. Also the internal security challenges, these are the because of the organized crime is there, drug trafficking from the eastern and western side, both side. So that is the one more region where we need theater command. Also it will increase the operational efficiency in crisis. So example, you can take the Operation Sindoor. Okay, so where do we have seen the army and the air force, they worked in coordinated way. Even the navy was deployed in the Arabian Sea for the certain time. Okay, so that time what happened, so we have seen the efficiency of the unified command. So considering that also, to increase operational efficiency, we need the theater command. Also if you see from the geopolitical perspective, if you see the China's military expansion, so China has increased its military expenditure from the triple quadruple time. Also it is expanding its military infrastructure everywhere. So and we have the direct border issue with China. So to tackle this one, we need theater command, so we can answer it unified way. Also if you see Indo-Pacific geopolitics. Okay, so if you see the rising tension in Indo-Pacific region. Okay, and also the protecting sea line of communication. So what we need, so Indian Ocean, if we want to focus to reduce or increase our assertiveness, we need integration between the air force and the navy, and for this we need unified command. So this is the one issue. Also if you see the regional power projection, so what we are projecting, that our previously we had the Sagar, now it has become it was known as security and growth for region, now it become the Mahasagar. Okay, so we are including the major, not only security but all the disaster related, also all the issues we are integrating. So we are promoting ourselves as a net security provider in Indian Ocean. So to promote this aspect, we need theater command, so the army, navy and air force that can work in integrated way. Also from the defense, diplomacy and the global commitment, so we have colliding with the major powers. USA is there. Okay, so again the Australia, so major developing countries are there. So we are integrating or collaborating with this, so to bring take our defense or take our infrastructure at par with them, we need this unified command. Also if you see our defense commitment, we are again providing the security to many security related services to many countries. Bhutan is one example where when there will be issue, we have to go support to Bhutan. Also we are developing military infrastructure, naval infrastructure in other country. Vietnam is there, Oman we are developing. So considering and upholding these issue we need this integrated command. Also from the economical perspective, if you see what are the economical factors that will making us inevitable to have the theater command. First is the resource optimization, so it will reduce the duplication. Okay, so if the air and army wants same kind of equipment, so this duplication currently they have to buy separately. So if the theater command is there, unified command is there, then this duplication can be reduced. Okay, so there will be it will reduce duplication of efforts as well as the assets. Okay, also the infrastructure investment. So if the unified command is there, then we can invest in infrastructure, be it the asset related, okay, the human resources in effective way. Okay, so this is the one measure is there. Also it will boost the MSME and startup because of the predictable procurement process. So it is also we have the economic growth related associated with this. Also there are other factors, that are administrative and political factors. So what are the administrative and political factors? It will eliminate the inter-service rivalry. Okay, so there is the rivalry when it comes to claiming the legacy. Okay, also claiming the priority, all these things. So that time there would be, we have seen inter-service rivalry. Currently, if you see this particular article where the army chief is saying the this theater command is inevitable, but when the comes to Air Force, Air Force is continuously opposing this theater command because its asset will be thinly distributed across the all the commands, and it will reduce the importance of Air Force. So this is the one issue is there. Also it will resolve the coordination bottleneck. Okay, so if you see the during if you want to, we want to conduct the any operation, so that time we have to coordinate with all aspects, but already if there is unified command, we can coordinate in better way. Okay, so without going for the multiple checks and balances. Also it will create the policy clarity and full autonomy. If the some operation certain force want to conduct, then it will have the full autonomy to conduct this particular operations. Okay, so again if you see the what are the challenges that comes to the implementation, we have seen the why we need theater command, but we are going to see the what are the challenges now. So challenges first is institutional and bureaucratic challenges. So just to have discussed, there is the legacy related claims, also institutional inertia. So every service has developed their own institutions. Okay, and this institution has their inertia, their way of working they have already developed, and it is the separate from the other organizations. So that is the one issue to bring them together. Also there is inter-service rivalry over the budget priority roles. So this just we have discussed. Also when it comes to political and policy challenges, if you see there is a strategic ambiguity. How the strategic ambiguity is there? Because of the it is the integration and the timeline. Okay, so if you see army chief himself say he don't know when it happened, so there is a problem with the timeline. So from the 2000 after Kargil war, this issue is in continuously issue is in the news. Okay, it is debates are happening on this particular issue, but still if you see there is no theater command is implemented except in the Andaman Nicobar. So this is the strategic ambiguity is also there. So also political fear of backlash. Okay, so if the some political party or the some government implement this theater command, it is not worked in well as per we have designed it. So that will what will it will lead to political backlash for the particular party or the particular government. So there is the political will, there is it lacks, we can say here. Also when it comes to structural and organizational challenges, so the command and the control issues. Okay, so when it comes to command and control issue, already the Eastern Command and the Western Command decided to kept under the army, so there will be only one command under the direct control of the Air Force. Okay, so there will be again the issue of the command and control when it comes to the this theater command. Also incompatible equipment and the system. Okay, so there need different equipments to use in different situations. So that is the one issue is there. Also when it comes to financial economical challenge, so there is the high cost of integration, and also it is linked to direct funding limitations. Okay, so this is the one major issue. Also when it comes to the human resources related challenges, the training mindset changes. Okay, already they have developed some loyalty, some legacy for the particular organization. So there will be this mindset change related challenges. Again the training for the all the soldiers need training for this theater working under control of theater command. So also there is challenge of leadership transition. So there would be challenge to whom to report. So these are the major challenges when it comes to this theater command. But ultimately if you see the many Shekhawat commission was there, which established after Kargil war. So that commission also recommended for theater command. After that, subsequently many commission recommended theater command. So theater command is inevitable, but it depends on how the government and all the three organizations work. So this is for this particular theater command. So we'll move towards the next article. It is about the making an ecological disaster in Nicobar. So this is written by the Sonia Gandhi, the former Congress chairperson, also the chairperson of Congress parliamentary. So written by the one of the leader of the opposition. So it becomes important to understand what is exactly. So what is context? So the control project of the Great Nicobar Mega Infrastructure Project. Okay, this particular project with cost of 70,000 crore. So this government wants to implement here. So government wants to develop the port and other defense related infrastructure. Okay, also the industrial related infrastructure, industrial township they want to build under this Great Nicobar infrastructure. So and it is very close to the state of Malacca, where the 55% of our trade passes through. So from that perspective, strategic perspective, this project is very important, but it also created some ecological challenges also. When it comes to the constitutional legal challenges it has created, and because it created because of it is several of indigenous tribal community, particularly Nicobaris and Shompen. So these two communities that directly going to impact because of this project. So what are the legal and constitutional violation in this particular project? There was no consultation to tribal council and the National Commission for the Scheduled Tribe, because if you see if you are reading newspaper daily, okay, we preparing for last 1 year, you would have been aware about the National Commission for Scheduled Tribe. Okay, this particular constitutional body that opposed, also it is given the report to oppose this particular Great Nicobar mega project. Ultimately again it is withdrawn under the pressure. So there is there was no consultation for the tribal council, that local tribal council, also this commission before the implementing project. Also when it comes to social impact assessment, it is neglected tribal involvement. So here we need to include all stakeholders. Okay, so environmental impact assessment program is there. Under this social impact assessment we need to do, so that time we need to include all stakeholders. So that time the tribal was not included. Also it evaded protection under the Forest Right Act. Okay, also right to fair compensation, transfer land acquisition, that Act 2013. So which says that if the government is acquiring certain project for the development purpose, it should give the 200% compensation to victim. Okay, so that is also got violated. When it comes to Forest Right Act, it says that particular indigenous community that's living from the last 3 generation or the 75 years in the particular area, they have the rights to right to land, to right to live the particular area. So ultimately this project will displace these people, and it will impact their rights in the Forest Right Act, and also the this right to fair compensation. So these two acts, their legal rights will get violated. Now we'll see what are the key issues that highlighted in the particular article. So the uprooting tribal community, particularly this Nicobaris, okay, this Shompen tribe, which is the PVTG also. So these two communities will be directly impacted because of their displacement. Okay, so also there is flawed public policy and process. So there is no objection, letter of no objection. Okay, letter of no objection that was not signed between the concerned authority. So that is the one issue is related. Also social impact assessment that not conducted, it not included the tribal communities, that is the one issue. Also when it comes to compensatory forestation, it will cut down 15% of the forest land, that islands forest. Okay, so the official estimate is the 8.5 lakh trees, and the independent estimate which says that, which is apart from the government, which says that nearly 32 to 58 lakh trees will be cut down. Okay, it is the nearly 5 times more than the official estimate. So this is the one of the cause of concern. If it is true, if 8.5 lakh trees amounts 50%, then it will go toward the nearly 50% of the islands forest. So that is the major cause of concern. Also the afforestation under the Forest Conservation Act, the afforestation proposed in the sites in Haryana. Okay, so mainland India they will go do afforestation, but they will cut forest in this Nicobar Island. So that is the one ethical dilemma is there. All the logical illogical part is there. So this is the one issue is there. Also when it comes to the environment, the project will falls. Okay, it falls particularly in coastal regulation zone. That there are certain grades. In CRZ A1 it falls. Those are prohibited from the port construction due to turtle nesting and the coral reef. So the CRZ 1A, okay, it is prohibits certain kind of project in the this particular near the coastal area. So this project comes under CRZ A1, where it prohibits the port construction in the particular area because of the it is the for the turtle nesting and the coral reefs are available there. Okay, so that's why this project again become controversial. It is violating the legal guidelines also. So also the project returns the sea turtles, Nicobar long tail mocks. So these will be again the from the biodiversity perspective, these animals will get major will be impacted. So that's why from the that perspective also this is the major issue. Also the if we see that there is flaw in methodology also. So they used drones to assess the dugong and the sea turtle, the what will be impact on them. So the use of drone for this purpose will have the limited capacity. Okay, so the what are the estimation drawn after the use of the technology, that will not be inadequate. So that is the one concern. Also the assessment that conducted in off season. Okay, so what will lead this ultimately, it will lead to skewed results. Okay, what are the results that came after the conducting assessment in off season? It is not giving the effective picture. Okay, so this is the one issue. Also it is highly unusual conditions bordering duress. Okay, so because if you see the particular location of Great Nicobar, so it is the near Strait of Malacca. Okay, where the we can see it is a very crucial from the global geopolitical perspective. Okay, and developing investing so much infrastructure in that particular area, it will also create a defense related challenge. Though it is project for the to increase our foothold in the western near the Andaman Sea and near the Strait of Malacca. So again it will create the security related challenges also due to Chinese maritime aggression. Okay, so these are the all issue related to particular article that mentioned by the author. So this is all for today. We have discussed the what are the articles came in the Hindu and Indian Express from the men's perspective. I will finish this discussion tomorrow. I will come with many articles from the Indian Express as well as the Hindu, where we'll discuss them from the men's perspective in tomorrow's session. Thank you very much.